Alright. Hopefully, stream's gonna work just fine now. 1, 2, 3, test. Alright. And we're back. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully, we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. Okay. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphinaud, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. It was stable on YouTube? Was it? Okay, because I was a little confused. My volume bars on my streaming software were kind of freezing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it seems to do it when I pop my preview on OBS. That's weird. Oh no, oh my lord. Why are you doing that? Frick. Alright. I'm just gonna leave the preview alone for now. My bad.
Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholar Montaigne. Other faculty tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they've seen him.
All right. We're looking for Milord Montaigne. However you say Montaigne. Monsieur Montaigne. Oui. Oh, this is a fancy university. Wow. Excitable student.
That was Alphinaud Leveilleur, wasn't it? The Alphinaud Leveilleur! And he's with his sister and Master Baldesian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word.
Chill, dude.
Oh, sorry. You said you're looking for the Scholark, yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere, but Miss Aliapo should have a better idea.
Uh-huh. Right. Mayhap I can repair my gear. But Swinder. Phenomenon is something of a multi-purpose facility used by lecturers and craftsmen alike. If you're looking for learner's meet, it's through the last door on the left. Oh, hello, students of Baldesion.
Permit me to share my thoughts about today's lecture. You see... Sorry, I have to go since it's 2 in the morning, but the stream is actually entertaining. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Neon. Welcome. It was nice to meet you for the little bit of time that you hung out here. You can always watch the VOD once that's up on YouTube. We also stream on Twitch. You know, I primarily I read both YouTube and Twitch chats, but I've been streaming on Twitch the longest, and that's where most of us usually congregate. You're wondering, but we'll see you on the next one. Nice, Neon. Thank you for hanging out, for passing by, and Happy New Year to you. May you have a fantastic year ahead of you. Lots of joy, great memories ahead, and awesome developments your way. All right, peace. Bye. All right, back to the voice acting. Alizé. Things were bad enough during our school days, and Alphinaud's time abroad has only heightened its fame. Or should that be infamy? He had his rivals and detractors, of course, though most of them gave that up after his adoring fans set upon them like ravenous dogs. Alphinaud, on the other hand, never paid much notice. Not much notice. They were simply beneath him. Thanks, Neon. Until the next one. Peace. Bye! Da 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 da.
He spoke to me. He actually spoke to me. I assure you, I'll tell you all about it after my business with the Skylark has concluded. The Skylark? Tell me, my good fellow, does this have something to do with saving the world from catastrophe? Might we turn our attention to Master Leverier's graduation thesis? I too have my doubts regarding our policy of non-intervention. Is it true that your experiences overseas are the reason you have incurred the ire of the Forum? Oh, what I wouldn't give to see you butt heads with those old codgers.
Jeez.
My princess, my queen. So long as I can continue my research with you, I am in bliss.
Cool. Yep. Cool beans.
We're researching prophecies. Lately, I have been reading over the writings of Master Louis Soir in hopes of gleaning some theretofore unknown knowledge. Unsurprisingly, the Skylark is not in his office. I did, however, speak with one student who saw him not long ago. He can't have gone far. He can't. He couldn't have. He just simply couldn't. Oh, there's stairs. That's a nice student room. It is quite rare to meet an outsider with such a curious mind as yours. Classes are currently not in session, but when they are, this place is filled with the sounds of students exchanging ideas and soaking up new knowledge. But that would affect the ethereal conductivity. You don't look like a student. This isn't learner's meet.
Ooh, that's cool. I like it. I'm a big fan. I like it a lot.
It is my favourite room.
Look at the furnace over there, with the ingots on the floor. I can't believe it. I'm gonna head over down here, down over here, and we shall go the other way. To the other side we go. Why, hello there. Oh, Tia. All this pressure's gonna be the end of me. Oh, I hope I find someone who can help soon. Oh dear. Am I ever gonna find a craftsman for the professor?
Oh gods. Charlene must be spared.
Oh dear, if only he were around to help me.
How am I supposed to approach any gleaners for help when the subject of our research remains undecided? Honestly, that man... Are you lost? Wandering off the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainer gleaner fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Searchers Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal here at Searchers Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Pisa this, tongue of Giganto that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end, which is possibly what some of the students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you'll have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding.
I'm no gleaner. I am no gleaner, bro.
So what you're telling me is you're not a gleaner? Yes, that's exactly what you said, isn't it? And you're looking for a Skolak? I'm afraid we don't have any of those in stock, but I can... Oh, you mean him? He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see it on the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive curios. Not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Ha! In the time it's taken me to tell you all of this, the Skarlark has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I've a feeling you'll need it.
Oh, thank you, Aliapo. Appreciate that.
Finding a worthy gleaner is proving tougher than I thought. I'm not suited to this line of work. Ugh.
Well, you are. Don't worry about it, ma'am. Don't worry. Be happy. You're very good. Very good, miss. Level-headed student.
Yes, the Skolak was here a short while ago. You offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor. Perhaps to one of the auditoriums? Perhaps. Maybe. Who knows? Mayhap. Fuck me. Hello there. If my friend doesn't turn up soon, we'll be late for the lecture. He'd half been here 2 bells early if it were one of Professor Makoto's classes. Shite. Okay. Hello? Montechain. Oh. Hello, mister.
Why, hello! Montechain.
Ah, I remember you.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Arigato, Sensei Montechain.
Well, I could hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisois in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
Wink, wink. I can't wink. My frog eyes are not Winkable.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat. We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into three forms. Two are of the incorporeal sort, the soul and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third? Not entirely inaccurate, but nor is it the answer I was looking for. That would be corporeal ether. This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it. Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
The seventh Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace?
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet. I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend. Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
Ba-da, ba-da, ba-ba, ba-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. You have been granted the run of Phenomenon. If you are game, Ki Aliapo would put your artisanry to good use. Okay.
My artisanry, you say? Oh, frick.
Oh my.
My artisanry.
My Durium shield. Here we go. A capital idea. Kryl is still digesting a rather hefty portion of food for thought.
Well, it's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the forum's true motives. and the mysteries of life itself, a good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way you could better acquaint yourself with He Aliapo, as the Scholark suggested, while I share our findings with Raha.
Okay. Okay. Shepherd to the star. Da 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 Welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Limsa Lominsa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits for us in Vilbrand.
Let's start by getting the scales out of the storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Vitra and the alchemists of the great work put their heart and soul into each and every one of those scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care.
Are you not coming with us?
As much as I would like to escape the forum's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I In my capacity as our official representative, we're found to be consorting with foreign powers. Well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn. I can feel it. Glimpsa Lamensa. Beer, 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 beer. Beer, 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 beer.
Actually, let me talk to Cryo.
If you learn aught of interest, be sure to let me know. In the meantime, I will do what I can to aid our cause, though I fear that will be precious little given. This.
I can't talk.
Though I fear that will be precious little given the circumstances.
Where do we want to go? Oh. Wait a minute. What? We enter the command room. Ah. I see. We shall go to the command room. Yes. Indeed. Ah, I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seatseer and the Sultana, 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? 3 powerful women. That's right, I forget that they're all leaders of, the respective FF14 cities. Oh my god. My apologies for calling you away from Charlayan at such a short notice.
On the contrary, we are honored and grateful, and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest.
During your time in Charlayan, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of kobolds, Sahagin, Exal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph in Razat Han has given us cause of hope once more.
The time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the scions of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telephoroi at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. These brave few will be the Ilsabard contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span.
Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald.
As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered, robbed of their free will, They serve the Teleferoys every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. Do not ask that we set aside decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end.
Aye. On that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Urianger observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we'd failed to make any headway. The same can be said of the Teleferoi. They're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the Spires' primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation.
This would appear to be substantiated by Stoller's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zot, the spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the largest spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring their schemes crashing down, along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good. But what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being in our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Easterland Alliance. Do you accept?
Perhaps you should be the one to answer that.
For honor and glory. I'm Reinhardt. For honor and glory.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
Stoller, Thancred, and Urianger have already pledged their support and are on their way to beat the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Roban and Lord Merrick are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival.
Pack warm clothing, furs and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Teleferoi so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go, safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return.
Ilsabard. Speak with Roban. In the Alamigan Quarter. Let's go. Let's head on over to Girabania. The locks. Oh my lord, where am I going? I'll admit, it is all rather daunting, though not quite in the way that I was expecting. Be standing shoulder to shoulder with our alliance's finest, the best of the best. The warrior of light and, well, me. It's silly, I know. Perhaps this is my way of distracting myself from the part I should be worried about. Marching into Garlemald. You know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who's been selected for the Ilsabard contingent. I have a few people in mind. Can I make a friendly wager? I must quiz Thancred and Urianji on the conditions we can expect in Garlemald. I know it's cold, but how cold? Will I need to keep my ears covered? It can be a bit sensitive at times. If a Merrick asks for me, say I'm getting on fine and leave it at that. Don't you dare breathe a word about the cord. Ah, fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settling into life as a scion. Collaboration never was his forte. The moment the fighting ended, off he'd go like a gallicat swept up in a strong breeze. But rest assured, he will always be there when you need him. Probably. Ah, the Wanderer's return. You've been busy, bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord A. Merrick be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard contingent. The very suggestion that send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid under the Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side, charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord A. Merrick's struggles mirrors my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsabard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Oh! Words of your exploits travels quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange. I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. The Teleferoi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varys and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I am branded a villain or hailed as a hero would only hinder your efforts. We will deliver your people from the harms, Mr. Gaius. For what it is worth, you have my gratitude. You and your comrades have the strength and courage to deliver my countrymen. I'm certain of it. In light of Gaius's rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. But I ask you to escort our friends inside. You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two. And if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you. All of you. I thought it said furry for... May the Furry from Five Nights at Freddy's protect you. Fuck. Best of the best. Maxima would have you meet your new traveling companions. The other members of the Elsabard contingent are gathered in the Royal Palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. Once we've set the contingent on its way, I will return to my duties here in Alamigo. As many of our most capable will be traveling with you to Garlemald. We who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say I do not welcome the challenge. Aye, this old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. I neglected to mention earlier that we have received a report from our troops that may be of interest to you. While engaged with a lunar primal, a great worm swooped down from the skies above and came to their aid. This worm, as described, was the spitting image of Tiamat. It seems she too continues to wage war against the Telephoroi. Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varus's murder, though I'm rather less recognizable on sight. Still, it's something to bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. But that's Gaius Balsar. The horrors he must have seen, many of his own making, I do not doubt. With the knowledge of our allies will hold the line in our absence, we may devote our attention to the Ilsabardian front. I suppose it's easy for some people to forget that they are civilians in Garlemald, too, when the only Imperials that they've ever known are soldiers. Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. Beep. Oh, the remaining members of the Scions, your friends and most of the Elsabard contingent await you within. Would you like to see you through? Would you like me to see you through? Yes, please and thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, kind man. How do you do? Oh, this place. Yeah.
By the 12.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit, son. Whoa.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Lucia.
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention. Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must, I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation, here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer. We shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort. Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying us as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya O sends her regards, by the way.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hillfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well,
Oh, shit.
the most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Terrapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the Avatar of Destruction. With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilzabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolaine!
Ah, yes. Emanolaine de Forton, at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light. Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honorat with my tales of derring-do.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the Shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Out of my way, you preening fool!
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Joma. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garlund Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
God damn. Oh boy. Magni. With the Mole, champions of the Nadam, and the Datharl having sent so many here, I had thought to defend the steppe in their absence. And I would have done so were if it not... Oh, fuck. I gotta read that again. With them all, champions of the Nadam, and the Datharl having sent so many here, I had thought to defend the steppe in their absence. And I would have done so were it not for my step-brothers. They urged me to grant our allies and the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them on to victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of this feral Datharli dog, as first among my brothers, I can do no less than accept his challenge. My deeds rather, will become the stuff of legends. I care not for the Iron Men or their troubles. It is the destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. Even so, I will do as I have agreed. I volunteered to join this band at Serena's request, and if she thinks it is a worthy cause, that is reason enough. Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. He is much better company on the hunt than any of the steps fish men could dream be.
I'm glad to see you well, Valkyria. Grandmother was worried for you. The night I agreed to come hither and join the contingent, the gods sent her a strange dream. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer. As they danced, the world fell to ruin. In blinding chaos, she spied blackened silhouettes, and I knew at once that one was yours. Yet we knew not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign that great danger awaits. But whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveler. Bum, 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 bum. Da da do 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 do. Greetings, Valkyria. The time has come for us Marines to show our valor upon the battlefield. All who see us will know of our name and quake before our might. To victory, come hells or high water.
Until the Empire fell, Garleans. Wait, what was it? I forgot what his accent was. Until the Empire fell, the Garleans were the only ones we was allowed to impose tariffs upon at sea. Weren't easy pickings, but I made myself a pretty girl. Since they've been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time I return the favor and give a little something back. I'm here representing the Marauders Guild. It's my job to keep the Smiths out of harm's way. Mind you, with them hammers of theirs, they could put up a fair fight themselves. With a bit of luck, this'll be over and done with afore you know it. Maybe when this is all over, you could pay the Axemaster a visit. He still tells all the new recruits about the time ye killed Kajata and avenged that boy's parents. Ha! I remember it like it was yesterday.
We came as quickly as we could. We would follow your example and devastate the Telephoroi with the full extent of our powers. Worry not for your brothers. Busy? We will return soon enough. I'm so glad I found you. I'll offer you a letter from Master Harmon. Let's read it together, shall we? Now, let's see here. I've every confidence that your fists shall bring the Telephoroi to their knees. Should you espy any beautiful maidens thereabouts, perhaps sing to me my praises. Ah, charming, Master. Well, more fool me for thinking that letter would contain something actually inspiring. Let's just, forget this note exists and focus on the battle ahead. I cast my lot with the Populares to bridge the divide between Garlemald and her territories, that all may be united in common cause. But we were disparaged as a radical element. The Santa is looking to destabilize the Empire from within. Many friends and even my parents perished in unfortunate accidents. I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for us all. As the world itself stands on the brink of collapse,
I hold out hope that one day that dream will become reality.
Well met, Valkyria. Would seem my machinists have been called up upon to serve. A turn of events which, according to my prospectomet meter, could prove to be quite the opportunity. I shall show the world the full extent of machinistry's worth. Of that and more you can be sure of, my friend.
It seems so long ago that we were sailing across the Ruby Sea and charging about the Asm Step with Serena and the others. I'd say we're overdue for another adventure. Ah, it brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We've been through so much together. Good times and not so good. I expect Garlemald will be mostly the latter, but I'd like to believe we'll look back on these days more fondly in the years to come. For that to happen, we'll have to make it out of this alive. Don't you die on me, I. Often has Father told me of the struggles faced by Alamigo in the days of the occupation, and I too have crossed swords with the Empire on many occasions. Though Garlemald has long been our bitter enemy, Her Grace is elected to bolster the Ilsabard contingent with members of the Immortal Flames. As representatives of the Sultanate, we are one in our commitment to the cause. With so many people from so many places, I'm rather out of my element. Regardless, I am a seed seer, and will endeavor to equip myself accordingly.
So, Lucia's in command. Regardless of her background, she's a Temple Knight through and through. I dare say her Garlean roots are all the more reason for her to lead this mission.
This is extraordinary. To be in such company, the finest our allies have to offer. With comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed. I'm certain of it.
I've close ties with the scouts of the Eastern. I've close ties with the scouts of the Eastern Alliance and the various resistance groups, and they're an absolute joy to work with. That's all you have to say, Thancred, really? Okay. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies o'er our journey's course. Indeed, we are joined today by many new acquaintances, though in time shall we come to call our comrades, and mayhap friends. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies. Yes, Rianji. Thank you. Our favorite astrologian at work. All right. I was half expecting to find the man who taught me red magic amongst our number. He's nowhere to be seen. I suppose he's had his share of unpleasant experiences with the Empire, but so have we all. Perhaps there's some other reason. Well, in any case, I've a feeling I'll see him again once this is all over. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised by how much my sword play's improved since we last met. We've been part of joint military operations like this before, and with far greater numbers. But for some reason, this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there's already a palpable sense of camaraderie. I've led troops into battle many a time, but never a unit with such a diverse range of talents. While I've been briefed on their capabilities, I expect you could provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. I'd appreciate any advice you might have. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own.
Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telephoroi. All things considered, there can be better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? Warding scales for the Ishgardian delegation, I take it. Many thanks. These talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemald, sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. And now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. And that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Aymeric. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. That's a set of warding scales I spy. Not that I would know what they'd look like. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with ether. All the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, these will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back in the grave where he belongs. I hear you've got something for us. Ah, them scales everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, ain't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gil or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't they send Ainzar instead? Baggered if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilfir told me was they needed someone to help safeguard the future. And here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humor. Of course, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land, in the middle of the sodden snow of all places. Well, me and the crew will do whatever needs doing, so let's set sail. Or however the saying goes on airships.
Yes. So these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. Under normal circumstances, I would not be allowed to travel outside of the Twelves Wood. The Elder Seatseer, however, has granted me special permission. She has bid me lend my magics to the people of Garlemald while learning all I can of their ways. In so doing, I will come closer to understanding myself and my place in the world. So she says. I say it is past time our allies benefited from the power of a Seatseer's disposal. Some bemoan that we would hide our light under a bushel, and I intend to address that criticism. Okay, Serena. We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, and we came prepared. Oh, They're talismans. We are to keep them close at all times, yes? You'll see that no one misplaces theirs. Ah, and before I forget, I have a message from Hien. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stand, together fight. In darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. Doma, like much of Othard, has been plagued by the towers. Yet while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. Hien and Yugiri labor without rest to unite the people, and with their aid, will we keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe and the Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by ending this war.
Do you have a warding scale for me too? Thank you for this, for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice, if I may. You have been told by many to wear the cold of Ilsabard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I will be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist's Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now, let us proceed to the Alamegan Quarter. While you make your final preparations, we'll have the pilots ready the airships.
Oh shit, dude. Oh shit.
Since my revival, I've been lax in expending my limited wardrobe. I think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Charlayan. I recall a rather fetching coat.
Preparations. I've got my armor and my lance. What more can I need?
If you've anything you still need to take care of, you'd better see to it now.
This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for occasions like these. There's no telling how long we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. Concoctions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in the Uldan markets, though they are of dubious provenance and efficacy. 'Tis said, however, that in recent days the Alchemists' Guild hath produced a tincture capable of such a feat. Mayhap the achievements of their Thavnarian counterparts did spur them to action, that they not be put to shame. It's something of a constant refrain that we require warmer clothing. My present garb may be lacking, fur collar notwithstanding.
I do wonder just what will become of us. We have been under Imperial rule for over 2 decades. What are we supposed to do now?
Well, I don't know, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you're supposed to do. But I'll tell you something.
Boom, boom, boom.
Shabba-dooba ding dong. Shabba-dooba ding dong.
Right. I think this is a perfect time for me to end the broadcast, actually, because this is probably going to be a really long sequence waiting ahead of us, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Ladies and gentlemen of the wonderful internet realm, thank you so much for tuning in on today's Final Fantasy XIV broadcast. If you're watching this live, thank you for lurking, for hanging out. If you haven't already, please hit the follow button. That way you're officially a part of the community. And if you want to take that step further and being involved with the community outside of the Twitch and YouTube chats, why not join our Discord community hub over at discord.gg/iceevil. So if you want to be a part of the community a little step further, or just a smidge, then consider hopping over to the Discord. And if you want to keep up with me on all of my socials, if you want to know when I'm live, what I usually do is I'll put up a video reel on my social media to let you know that I'm live on Twitch. So that all goes on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And the username for all those mentioned platforms should be IcyVolk. So same username across all those platforms. Easy to remember and follow, right? And while you do wait on the next stream to return, why not check out some of my Overwatch 2 voice character impressions? Yes, that's right. I've had the great pleasure of impersonating a lot of the characters from one of my favorite games of all time, Overwatch. So if you wanted to listen to all of that, click on the link that I just provided in the Twitch chat. It'll take you to the YouTube playlist. I've impersonated a wide variety of characters such as Lucio, Cassidy, Reaper, Hazard, you name it. There's even Gender Benzaria in there. Because why not? So, that's it for me, folks. I'm going to go get some beauty sleep for tomorrow's new day. I will try to start the stream earlier. I was a little bit later than I expected today, but I will continue our Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker playthrough tomorrow, so do look forward to another stream. That's it for me. I'm going to go. I'm going to get some quality rest, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Have an amazing rest of the day ahead until we see each other again. Take care. Bye. Oh, shit. That's the wrong screen. Oh.